Ah, a visitor. It seems you've come to seek answers, right? The eternal question, how to never fail again? Well, the answer you desire is on that pedestal, right over there. Yes, simply walk up to it and this mental fortitude you seek shall be yours. Just a few more steps. Of course, it's never that easy. I could tell you the answer, but there'd be little point in words. Experiences are what drive learning. If so, then for us to see success, we'll first have to see and overcome failure, its anger, despair, monotony, and impossibility. Yet I won't show that through words. Instead, we'll go through a game designed for maximizing failure. Jumping. The monolith before us is a challenge, and for us to see the answer, we'll have to climb up above those distant clouds. The journey will be long, and we'll be tempted to give up many, many times, but it must start somewhere. So let us begin, main babe. We are first placed into Red Crown Woods, where we are tested with our basic knowledge of the mechanics. We find that we can walk around and jump, but we cannot change our trajectory mid-air. We also see that we can hold the jump button until the character jumps at max height, which is called a full jump. Because of its guaranteed height and trajectory, it will be very useful to find as many full jumps as possible. We are also tested with making small jumps. We are given simple strategies for easier jumps, and we, of course, fall, meaning we must now climb back up. However, were this game so simple, its message wouldn't shine so much. In reality, as we climb the tower, we'll find that there are characters beside us. In the first screen, the first character sits calmly, the old man. For the most part, the old man simply taunts you.
Have you seen her yet? Didn't think so.
And as you climb and fall, you'll come back to him every once in a while.
I came up with a new strategy to get to the babe. Just don't fall.
Eventually, we'll go from the green half of Red Crown Woods to the second, red half, but fall to the old man again and...
Could you bring me some of those red leaves? I like them more than the green ones.
The start of this game may be calm and peaceful, but it's here where we'll see the game's first theme. Anger. Even if we don't fall far in this area, the old man will continue to taunt you, to remind you that your falls are impactful. You'll try to ignore each fall, you'll grit your teeth and stand up again. Isn't that the only thing you can do?
Oh, I wish I was young again. Then I would reach the babe in no time. Oh, yes.
The old man knows your struggles, as he has been on your journey as well. Long ago, he too had tried to climb up, but he fell and never got up again. He laughs and taunts you because he knows what's going to happen. He knows you'll fall again, just like he has done many times before. Yet even if he sits at the bottom, a faint hope remains in his eyes.
The sewers are so clean. You could probably eat from the floor even. Yeah, I could see myself living there. I know, I'll go there. Tomorrow.
However, he has chosen to stay here, at the bottom of this forest. But what about you? Eventually, after a strange bird flies away from us, we will reach the second area of the game, the colossal train. If you were angered by the falls before, then this is where the game might become unbearable, as every fall will send you all the way back down. The higher you climb and the more hope you have, the lower you will fall and the more dread you will feel. We are not alone here though. A diary entry tells of a man who has grown to have doubts, and they have begun to consume his mind. After all, what if there is no babe there? What if the answer to never falling again isn't worth the effort? Why should I sit and play this game when all I feel is anger? Yet, what is there at the top? If you wish to continue, you cannot have doubts. You must believe you will win, regardless of what other people tell you. Fail to do so, and you'll end up like the old man below, or the skeleton imprisoned here.
The noise. A voice. Is it her? Go to meet her. Soothe me.
Desperate for the babe, yet unwilling to try and reach her. Instead of having the babe in its hands, the skeleton is pleased by her illusion. Isn't watching someone else climb the same as getting there yourself? Ignore these thoughts. They've swayed many men before you. After struggling enough with these jumps, you will finally find shelter within the third area, the False King's Keep. Unlike the ever more stressful Colossal Drain, the game gives you some mercy with a floor you can stand on. Now, no matter where you fall, you'll never come back to the dreaded drain. Finally, a sense of safety. Of course not. There is no safety here, only a short reprieve. But you won't miss this jump, right? But you won't fail these small jumps. But you won't go over this easy jump. But
There is a huge cabin above these sewers. Shouldn't be too hard to get through.
this journey is not an easy one. If I just showed you the successes, then you would never understand the point. Jumping is as much about jumping up as it is about falling down, and even at the bottom, you must get up and climb. Again and again, past Red Crown Woods and past the Colossal Drain. Back in the False King's Keep, you may now see that that black bird sits outside the keep as well. It seems like once you reach the black bird, it moves ever higher, so is it even worth the effort to try and reach it? It's up to you to choose, of course, but if you don't, you'll not only miss whatever the point of the bird is, but you'll also show that you're too careful to even attempt a challenge. If so, why are you here? Is it just to say you did it? To brag to your friends? Will they really care about this accomplishment whose difficulty only you know? Forget the fear of falls and embrace them. Avoid even trying and you'll shackle yourself to the bottom. And if you aren't too afraid to leave your comfort zone and get the bird, then you'll be able to climb up and challenge that jump again. No matter how long it takes, you will succeed eventually. Now, we move on to the fourth area, Bargainburg, where we meet our third character, a merchant named Megildus Drieg.
Greetings. These boots are fit for a legendary hero, crafted by a distinguished master. With these, you'll get to that babe in no time. Since I like you, I'll cut you a deal. For only 1 measly gold, they are yours. What do you say, eh?
A tempting offer, isn't it? Something to break up the monotony of these jumps, right? It would make sense that these boots would grant you some benefit, and even if they don't, what do you really have to lose? Gold coin? Surely it won't be difficult to get. I see. It's the bird. He's holding a coin, and as long as you can catch him, those boots will be yours. Well, it seems like this will continue for a while, but judging from your past experience, you'll be visiting the merchant again, whether you want to or not. And so, your journey continues through the abandoned houses of Bargainburg. You may ponder then who she sells her products to. These shoes are clearly designed for jumpers, so are there others like you that have been here? Maybe the old man? The skeleton? But wait a minute, who built this place and where did everybody go? This was clearly an effort of many people. Was it all to reach the babe? You have no answers, so you'll continue to eventually reach the fifth area, the Great Frontier. A frontier is a limit or a border to something, so what is up there? Hidden in a little entrance, you'll find another diary entry, likely related to the one in the colossal drain. Yet its message is not a hopeful one, but one of sheer impossibility. Whoever wrote this was here, just like you. They climbed past their own anger, and at the edge of this frontier, they couldn't go on. As you will climb, you'll see the man-made towers of the long-forgotten past stop, and the air grow colder. There were people who had tried to go up, but for whatever reason, they couldn't continue. The only one that remains is the hermit.
Hmm? A fellow jumper. How unusual. I salute you for coming this far, but I'm afraid this is the end of the road for us. Just wait until you see what is ahead. I will wait here.
As usual, we will continue to disregard the opinions of fellow jumpers and move upward. Of course, we'll soon see why this area is so impassable. Wind and snow. Stormwall Pass works significantly differently from anything we've seen before. Instead of being able to position yourself however you wish by walking, you're trapped in snow and you can only jump. The wind does allow you to make smaller jumps to move around, but it also amplifies bigger jumps, sending you flying over your landings. Couple these two together and you'll find yourself using less skill and more strategy, as it becomes harder and harder to properly time your jumps.
Who could live in such harsh conditions? No, a lady could never live up there.
Carry on. Ignore him. Learn to use as many full jumps as you can. Without strategy, you'll never make it through.
If she really was at the top, would someone not have found her by now?
Do not let doubt cloud your mind, even if this jump keeps sending you down.
People say their statues give bad luck. Foolish superstition.
Why are they there then?
If we cannot reach the top, how could a lady ever do it?
Why am I even trying? No one has gotten through there. Neither the people of the past or the people of today. It's likely that hundreds have tried, so...
Why you should continue? Did you forget about the babe already?
Man, I really have to continue, right? Even if I don't want to. Even if the babe may not be hot, or the answer interesting. Yes, that is what separates you from the rest. Your will to continue. The falls may grow larger and larger, but whether they stay in the same screen or span the entire tower, you can always try again. So, you climb up again. You did it. You made it past the Stormwall Pass, a land that no one before you managed to pass. For such a great accomplishment, you are rewarded with something that seems like an actual dream. A checkpoint. Chapel Perilous does not have a fall where you couldn't easily get back to it, meaning that yes, you are indeed safe here. You finally entered the final stage of the tower. However, take a look again. That bird is here. Try to reach it and it'll fly away as usual, but this time it'll leave something. A single gold coin.
You still don't have 1 gold? What a shame.
What a cruel game, isn't it? All of what you have done, all the effort you spent into climbing here, it could be wiped away because of what? Some cool-looking shoes? Is it really worth such a sacrifice? Is it? Not everyone here will sacrifice their progress for the sake of curiosity. After all, if your goal is to win, those boots will likely not do much for you, since, come on, that merchant is definitely not legit and there's no way there are boots that let you fly. Even more importantly, we'll stray even further from both the babe and the answer, and isn't that our purpose? Well, yes, but what if they really did work? Cast aside your fear and just believe. You've done it before, right? Surely you can get back up here again. We'll lose some time, but we'll certainly be back.
Oh, you have the gold? I'll take that. And here you go. Extra special performance enhancing boots. Put them on and leap away.
Yep, they're exactly the same. No special abilities, just a few more dialogue screens with the merchant. That's it. Well, if you're down here, then you may as well start climbing, right? So you begin anew, and soon you find yourself actually getting somewhere. You're still falling, but not as much as before. However, the boots didn't change. You did. Having done every jump before, knowing it's all possible, you can slowly climb back. In the end, those boots did make you fly, just in a somewhat roundabout way. And so, we come back to Chapel Perilous, now ready for our final set of challenges. The chapel itself allows you to climb most of it to full jumps, and is a fairly easy area. At the top of the chapel, you'll find Blue Ruin, which introduces ice, a rather frustrating mechanic. Now you have to think a lot more about your landing, potentially needing to jump while landing in order to redirect your momentum. It may be frustrating, like most things in this game, but when you fall, you just get back up and try again, since you don't fall far. Eventually, you'll pass the few screens in Blue Ruin and make it to the end, the tower. Its jumps are hard, while the area has nothing on the sides, meaning each fall outside sends you all the way back down. A final test of your skills. You'll fall quite a few times here and come back to Blue Ruin, where you might fall back to Chapel Perilous, but you can do this. You've overcome tougher challenges and higher falls. All you have to do is to not let yourself succumb to anger. Eventually, the journey finally culminates with the babe jump, the final non-trivial jump in the tower. Sure, it's not a difficult jump, but it's also not easy, and more importantly, it's one of the most punishing jumps in the tower, as every fall will send you down an entire area. However, you steel yourself and jump, landing on the final platform. You have done it. You have reached the babe, sitting atop this world. You've proven every NPC wrong by actually putting in the effort and proving what they thought was impossible. And in the end, man, that babe sure is hot. Hey, wait a minute. What about the answer? The one at the top of the monolith? Well, we may have reached the babe, but we are not at the top of the monolith. Sadly for us, there is nothing above us that could help climb higher. So what do? Well, there is one thing I omitted. In Bargainburg, there is a somewhat hidden passage that goes to the left side of the screen. If you climb up to it, passing by the areas that are now trivial, and go in,
You shall never make it to the Babe of Legend. Even if you succeeded, she would refuse you. You are doomed to fail. I read it in your soul. For you are an insignificant, small, and ugly creature.
where are we, you may ask? We're in an intermediary realm, and by climbing up, we'll see another passage left. Ahead of us, the soul-crushing Newbie Plus. Welcome to the other side of the monolith. What we have seen is merely one side of this game, and it represents anger. This side is different in some ways, yet similar in others, as we do start in Bright Crown Woods, a version of the first area of Red Crown Woods, but different. Instead of the easy green platforms, you're left to trudge through the snow you've seen in Stormwall Pass, but this time, you don't have the wind to aid you. As you climb, you'll find another bird that you can chase, the white bird. Will this one be different? Will it also be cruel in its reward, and will the reward be worthwhile? Well, there is sadly only one way to find out, so you continue to try and catch it. And so, we eventually reach the second area, the colossal dungeon, where we meet another character, the gnome.
Hello there! I haven't seen you around here before. If you're anything like the others, this might just make for a good show.
Certainly doesn't seem like a particularly friendly guy, so it's best to continue. Once you do, our suspicions will be confirmed. This tower, Newbie Plus, is a twist on what we've seen before. Now, the ever-stressful colossal drain has become the ever more challenging colossal dungeon, as it has completely frozen over. The people who built the structures in the tower before have been here as well. As you will climb, you'll find yourself struggling to keep yourself stable on these narrow landings.
Have you ever tried not to fall on your face? Never mind. It is funnier for me when you do.
What an annoying character, laughing at every mistake you make. Regardless, you carry on and begin to look around, finding rooms with messages in them. You find that this place used to be a prison, but now only the birds remain to...
Alright. Tell me when you will make a serious attempt.
Inside these rooms, you'll also notice something odd. Silver coins. If you go back a bit, you'll find one at the top of Bright Crown Woods as well. It seems like the gold coin quest has now been split to have many silver coins for whatever reason. That would also mean that the bird will probably hold something other than a coin, so what would that...
Don't tell me you were actually jumping seriously this whole time. I almost feel sorry for you. But not really.
This gnome is annoying because he shows a rather unfortunate side of the human mind, the enjoyment of others' misfortune. If you lack the empathy to relate to a person, you might instead find pleasure in seeing him fail, because it makes you feel better than him and reminds you that you're not the only person struggling. You may find the gnome the same as the old man, but there is a difference, as the old man never tries to outright insult you. He pokes fun at you or himself. But the gnome doesn't care. He is purely self-serving. He's never cared to actually climb up. He's not angry or exhausted. He's just bored. That's it. To him, your journey is nothing but a series of infrequent falls that never cease to entertain his boredom. Understand that, and you'll find him just a voice that echoes within these forgotten walls. After you get better at controlling yourself on ice, you will, as always, climb to the next area, the False King's Castle. Similarly to the False King's Keep, it's another relatively calm area all the way up to its end, except this time, the worrying surprise is not as impactful. But instead of seeing a calm town after, the sky will begin to turn green. The cold of the previous 3 areas withers away, and you enter the new version of Bargainburg, Underberg. Here, there is no Megildus Drieg and his little tune. Instead, you get a dreary melody that haunts every crevice of this forsaken town. The wind also makes its return, now with a strange green color, but unlike the Stormwall Pass, you'll find that your jumping skill remains the important part, not usually strategy. So, you begin to climb through this area, eventually finding a person, one covered in stone, sitting in the corner of a room.
Hello, this is my room. I'm getting tired just looking at you. Can you please leave?
Having lost the will to move, this character sits here, but unlike the skeleton trapped in his cage, this character retains free will, or whatever that is worth. Soon after, you'll meet another, though more friendly, man of stone.
Hi. Try to hold your breath when you're out there. The air is not so good to breathe.
It seems like the strange wind is not just green, it's messing with the people here. You're not affected by it beyond being thrown around, but this place does feel off, doesn't it? The few sane people here agree. We better get out of here. We certainly don't want to end up like them. Yet another screen higher, we find more.
I better open my eyelids. I think they're gonna get stuck like this if I don't open them. But it's kinda bright outside, you know. It could sting if I opened them.
These people have been consumed by a sort of lethargy. They've fallen so many times, and yet they didn't ever say it was impossible to continue. It's just that they wanted to take a break. Then, when they knew they should continue, they found it easier to not try, to not move, to be overgrown by stone that made it even harder to try. All they wish to do is to avoid the wind that pushes them around, and if it means sitting in their depressing rooms, then that's where they will be. We must leave them, for we cannot help them. Yet there is still more stone for us to see.
Hello. I don't think you're supposed to be here. Or was it someone else that wasn't allowed?
A guard of some sort, but who is he looking for?
Did you go through here earlier? Come closer so I can take a look at your face. No, the other guy didn't look like you. They said he had a blue helmet.
It seems like that would be us, but why? Perhaps someone doesn't want us to take the babe. Sure enough, the stone man on the other side agrees.
Did you talk to my brother? He's over there in that other house. We are supposed to keep a lookout here, but I'm the only one doing any work.
However, if he's working, then why doesn't he care about us? Aren't they supposed to be on the lookout for a guy with a blue helmet? We are definitely not some random character, but these two brothers have succumbed to the green wind and can no longer be effective guards. While the brother on the left side still hopes to do his job, even if he's too tired to remember it, the brother on the right cares only about having an excuse. An excuse to help retain some dignity, even if he has no intention of trying again. Leaving the brothers alone, we finally climb out of Underberg and enter the Lost Frontier, an area that so heavily contrasts with the previous one with its peaceful appearance. The serene music reassures you that you've made it past the winds. You can finally see something new and interesting. To our left, we find yet another character, another merchant.
Hey, it's not every day you see a new face around here. What I'm doing here? I'm trying to sell these huge boots I've got to some passing giant or troll. They don't fit me, so I figured, why not try to make a quick buck instead of throwing them out? What, you want them? That's funny. They probably won't fit you, but I won't stop you from buying them. I'd say I could get 10 silver for them from any troll, so that's gonna be the price.
Seems like we've found the merchant for this tower, but unlike Drieg, this merchant feels more casual.
I'm not a liar, buddy. People simply don't ask the right questions. It's tough, but in business you gotta avoid telling them what they don't want to hear. Be selective about your facts, that's all.
He may be suspicious, but at least he's honest about it. Either way, you begin to climb again, as there is still much ground to cover. The jumps are precise, but as long as you remain calm, you can climb up. As you do, you'll find that the architecture here is surprisingly detailed, especially after the crude buildings of Underberg. Why did the people care so much to build it? Oh no, not this place. I want Lost Frontier again, not this curse of waiting 10 seconds for each jump. It's okay, you can always get back. Sorry. So, as I was saying, you climb back and hear that melody yet again. We're safe again, we can continue to make progress again. And now, we reach the third screen where we find yet another character, the archaeologist.
Oh, where did you come from? Pardon me, it's just that these ruins are so fascinating. I can hardly take my eyes off the details of the statue here. Truly captivating.
Indeed, I'd have to agree on that. Even when looking at the level design, because this area uses such narrow and small landings, you're given a lot of choice in how you approach your jumps. As you climb, you'll find fewer and fewer platforms, leading to this feel of a fracturing palace where... No, not again. It was so calming. Why must I fall here? Never mind. Relax. You know you'll make it.
My back is itching, but I can't reach it. Or maybe I could, but I'd have to move my arm around my back. I'd rather sit still.
We won't succumb to laziness like them. We will continue to climb.
The babe? I mean, sure, I would like to reach her, but I don't really feel like trying. You understand, right?
No, I will get the babe and that goddamn dancer as well. I'm sick of this. I need to continue to show what lies above for both of our sanities.
The babe? Don't be ridiculous. We have to keep watch here. I would like to, but I just can't.
Don't worry, by the time you even think about standing up, I will have taken the babe from any fantasies you may have had. Finally, we return. As I was saying, this place is rather interesting. If this is called the Lost Frontier, then we can look back and remember the Great Frontier. Back there, the people were attempting to reach the babe by building towards her, but when they reached the wind, they couldn't go any further. After that, they likely went to here, so there must have been something else that stopped them.
According to recent findings, it has become clear that the civilization here started to build a tower-like structure. However, the building process was halted, so the tower was never completed.
Whatever it was, we must continue to find more clues, as we can't... No, come on, we were making good progress. Why do I have to trudge through this?
I'm getting tired just looking at you. Can you please leave?
Yes, I know, I'll be leaving as soon as I possibly can.
Could you please stop looking at me? You are making me uncomfortable.
Yep, I'm getting out of here right this instant. Goodbye. I know, we'll be fine. We can make it, but I just don't want us to be in Underberg, okay? It's so tedious to wait for the wind to continue jumping, and I just want to show what else is hidden in this place. Speaking of which...
Yes, I can sense it. I'm nearing a breakthrough. Any moment now. Aha! Oh wait, that's not it. Anytime now though.
Oh. Yeah, you won't succeed every time you try things. I'll just keep going then. It's okay. We can get back there.
Oh, I think I found something new. Let me check. Yep, that is definitely something I have not seen before.
What is it? Won't you tell me? It's alright. I'll just continue.
Doing anything is such a hassle. I've been sitting here for a while now. Don't really have any reason to move.
This time, we will make progress. I figured out a new strategy that should use a full jump and should help a lot with getting out of here.
Please wait a minute, would you? I am in the middle of a breakthrough in my research.
Don't worry, I'll be back. I want to see if the strategy... I can't. Please, just get back up there. No, I haven't been here in so long. I forgot to do all of this. This tower is cruel, which is why its theme is despair. It's as if no matter what I do, I fall back down. I can sit for hours and make hundreds of attempts, but they all fail. It'd be easier to give up, to lose all hope, to become a stone man and ignore the journey altogether. But then I wouldn't win, and you wouldn't see the answer. This journey would be pointless and unfinished, even if it maybe should be at this point. I have to climb again. I just have to. Even if this wind is siphoning my life away. Even if my jumps are becoming slower and slower. Even if this area only has sadness left.
Yes, I can sense it. I'm nearing a breakthrough. Any moment now. Aha! Oh wait, that's not it. Anytime now though.
I see. You're stuck too, aren't you? Just like me. Stuck in this pink, eternal nightmare. Unlike the characters of Main Babe, who choose to ignore the babe as a possibility, the characters in this tower still have some hope, but they are stuck. The stone men have been consumed by their lethargy and have lost all will to move. The merchant is looking for a troll, but he will never find one. The archaeologist is looking for an answer, yet she's doomed to never find it. Only the gnome can avoid this fate, as he consumes the despair of others. It is as if no matter what you do, you slam your head into the ceiling and fall back down, with only the immense boredom waiting for the wind left. It's easy to give up, to succumb to despair, but you must somehow push through it, to look at all those failures and say, this time will be different, even when hundreds of attempts all fail to fix it. That's easy to say though. I don't want to be here, nor do I want to be in the lost frontier. All I feel is misery and anguish. I just want to be done with all this, done with the game, with the answer. I don't want to care anymore. But I will jump again. If only to help avoid thinking about anything else. Even if I can't stand it anymore. The music is gone. Is this it? The end? Is that even possible? Please. Wait, what? What? Where am I? Is it over? Really? Am I actually finally free from that nonsense? I can't believe it. I thought it would never end. So, I'm sorry, I must have been a bit of a mess, but it's alright. Let's get back to the tower. Look, we're finally safe. There's nowhere to fall back down from. Man, I can finally talk about the game again. That despair is over and we are in the final set of challenges of this tower, just like last time. Okay, so we are now in the Hidden Kingdom. Naturally, the happy forest we are in represents shelter from what came before, but why did we sort of teleport into this area? Doesn't matter, as we keep climbing and eventually meet the Troll King.
Oh, hail to you, little spirit. The Mountain King is who I am. You see, from here, I can just about watch over my whole kingdom. All through the world my realm reaches, from the little fairies playing around in the moss below, all the way to the mountain stones up above. But I recognize you not. From where did you come?
It seems like this place is strange as well, as the creatures here find it to be the only existing area. Indeed, we are not supposed to be here, and the unnatural leniency of this kingdom supports this idea. But why is that? Well, unlike anything else we've seen, this place exists as something akin to a tear in reality, something far away from the quest of the babe. It's not just that we are able to take a break, we are tempted with a vision of a peaceful world, a utopia, where the residents do not seek greatness, they live peacefully. If so, can't you just be happy being here, really giving up on your goals? If you try to resist this notion, you'll eventually come across a hole that goes down, all the way down to Lost Frontier. But this is yet another temptation one must overcome. Face fear once again and continue outside the warm forest into the cold and desolate Black Sanctum, the chapel perilous of this tower. Soon enough, you'll find that just about nothing has been retained. The holy atmosphere turned unsettling, the jumps became difficult, and the checkpoint is gone. Instead of a solid ground, you'll find this place is somehow flying in the sky. If you do fall, you'll be brought back to Hidden Kingdom, but what about Lost Frontier? Did the people there never find Hidden Kingdom? Their white tower did seem to go higher. Were they building to reach the Black Sanctum? If so, it seems like they never made it. Regardless, you begin to climb these pillars, but keep falling back to Hidden Kingdom, each time needing to do this jump. You keep making it, but what if you didn't? You don't want to think about it, and so you tread carefully, eventually climbing to the top of Black Sanctum. As you reach an open space, a snake comes into view.
How amusing. He approaches without shaking. He should know he is fortunate. Weaker men have not been as lucky. By his stance we see him as our like, a being of absolute will. To prove that we are not mistaken, he will deliver us the blood-red stone.
The snake is not like the characters before, because unlike those we've met, he is a higher being, one whose will has surpassed mortal limits. It seems like we share that will, as we have reached him, but we're not quite there yet, as we do not have this so-called blood-red stone.
Man has a propensity for clouding their mind with hollow temptations, swaying to and fro between useless addictions as they move ever closer to their final end. Will he prove to us his freedom from this rot?
The snake understands that the truth doesn't lie in the babes, it lies in the answer. We aren't jumping for them, we are jumping to surmount failure by overcoming the despair and anger associated with it. We walk this path because we know we won't fail.
The weak witless masks are fit only to be commanded, but we are the higher kind, masters of will. We rule by right of mind and determination alone. Will he prove himself as one who has risen above?
To our left, we will see that the white bird is now holding the blood-red stone. But if you try to catch him, he will go down, not up. We've reached the cliff where we need to take our leap of faith down. Of course, we won't back down from this challenge. The answer may lie at the top, but that doesn't mean that if we just climbed up, we'd reach it. Instead of blindly climbing and hoping that the failures will cease, we will purposefully go down, because we have the will to get back up. So, we begin to fall through Black Sanctum, eventually landing in Hidden Kingdom. The white bird is, of course, nowhere to be seen, because we know this challenge would be meaningless otherwise. The sadness returns as our steps echo within these walls again. However, we are no longer going up. These people have all fallen prey to their simple goals, thinking that just by reaching the babe they will get everything they ever wanted. The civilizations that built our path were themselves built on this utopian idea of success, that once it's over, you are finally happy. Those that didn't work together fell to rot, as they didn't have the will to even try. And those that wandered into this place never knew that this tiny piece of hope was all a test of their determination. Now, it is time for the hard part. We may be willed, but the journey ahead is still not easy. We've known that from the start, yet we always cared about how bad it was. We must accept that this world can always be surmounted. It's all a matter of will. So, let's fly again.
Yes, the blood-red stone delivered at last. We will grant him a token of our recognition.
Your reward for your fearless efforts is the snake ring, an item that makes every surface icy. It truly is a tool that is only for the absolutely willed, those who wish to play the game in an even more brutal way.
Treasure our token well.
Indeed, your reward is a promise of more suffering and pain, but you don't need to subject yourself to it. Our goal remains to go up, and now we may have a tool that can help us see beyond those clouds. It's time to continue once again. Past Black Sanctum, you'll find a completely submerged deep ruin. This area introduces a new gimmick, water, whereby being in it, you are much slower in moving and jumping. Those thousands of jumps you've put into mastering jumping have now been flipped on their head, as your timings have changed, and you must learn them again. Thankfully, this area is rather forgiving, as you almost always fall inside it, but what is that? You forgot about them, didn't you? The silver coins. You've just picked up your 9th one, and soon enough, you find the 10th. We have been all over the world, from its roots to its skies, and we can only now afford those boots. You know they won't fit you, you know they'll take away progress, but why not climb again? You've done it multiple times before. However, before we fall down, why not see why the edges of Deep Ruin are missing? Of course, it's because of the final area in the game, the Dark Tower. So, you look around, jump, and immediately fall through a wall, going all the way back to Black Sanctum. I guess we can check out what the boots are for.
You have the silver. Alright, we've got ourselves a deal, pal. Just don't complain to me if they're too big.
Just like the snake ring, these boots also make the game harder. But this time, you are instead prevented from being able to walk. For now, a novelty, in due time, a tool. Now, let's finish this for real, and tackle the Dark Tower. As the game so rudely pointed out to us, the gimmick here is that there are walls that are illusions, and it is up to us to see which are which. Thankfully, you'll notice that the blue covered ones are the ones you can fall or jump through. This tower is definitely not an easy one, and hate it or not, you'll fall back down to Black Sanctum. But it's when you reach the Dark Tower that things may get dicey. Since you just spent a while jumping in slow motion, you won't be used to doing normal jumps. You must make sure to stay patient, both to get back to normal jumping first, as well as to carefully analyze our route, as we have quite a few options. With enough effort though, you will reach the babe jump again. Stay calm, jump, and land it again. Having finally done it, you have reached the new babe. You've gone through despair that was impossible to see before, but you still persevered. Of course, once you look up, you may find yourself cheated out of victory, as the clouds are still so far away. What are you missing? Haven't you overcome the anger and despair this game brings? Aren't you able to move through anything the game throws at you? Well, you're still missing something. Something that we haven't quite seen in all of the areas we've been in. If you once again go back to the start, you'll find a new entrance, one that leads to yet another place we cannot yet fathom. How could it get any worse, you may ask? Only one way to find out, about the final trial of Unending Falls and Ghost of the Babe. And so, this marks the end of part 1. The second part will come out in 2 days, though if you wish to see it a little sooner, feel free to check the link in the description.
Still struggling, I see. She will not be worth it.